What is up, people in the interwebs? I hope you're having an amazing day, and welcome back to Kirsty J's YouTube channel. Today we're going to do a podcast and just chat about some things. Also just to make a video, because I said I was going to get back to making some weekly videos, and it's been about a month and a half and I haven't done anything. So here's me for top award for being proactive and making videos. Round of applause. We've also got a special guest. We have Stefan, who's munching on Kit Kats as we speak.
We certainly are. Today we're talking about our trip to Japan, and I'm eating some of the Kit Kats that we got from them. I have to say, pretty good.
Yep, pretty tasty they are. I have actually made a video. To be fair, a lot of the stuff I said I was going to post, the thing that's taken so long for me to do it is just the editing. Editing's taken a lot longer than I thought. I kind of thought with lockdown that yes, this is going to be great. I can spend a lot of my time editing, but the problem I didn't factor in is I still have to work at home. If you don't know, my day job is working for the NHS, and it's really annoying because all the other departments in my office has been fairly quiet. They haven't got a lot of work coming in, and I thought I'd be the same, but my department is just as busy as ever, so that's taken a lot of my time I thought I was going to have to edit and get some stuff done for the YouTube channel.
Yeah, the only way you're going to get 2 weeks off now is if you get COVID. Yeah,
this is it, and it's kind of probably thrown a spanner in the works, I think, from working from home. Personally, I do quite enjoy working from home. I think I get more done. But at the same time, for the stuff I like to do away from work, like YouTube, it's definitely thrown a spanner in the works because my desk where I work on all my editing, making videos, that's completely been taken over with all my work stuff, and kind of to dismantle all the work stuff and put it back on sometimes it's a hassle. So I've kind of lost my little space I have in my free time. So it's definitely a nightmare. So I think the best way to kind of come back here and get something out for that I haven't put anything for a while would be just talk about Japan, our experience, and just also give you an update why nothing's come up is because work's been a pain in the bum and taking all my time at the moment.
I have to say, I'll tell you what, when we went to Japan, Kirsty went absolutely mad buying loads of Kit Kats, and I'm just looking at all the Kit Kats that she's got here at the moment. I haven't tried half of these when I was out there. I've tried, what's this one?
That one's like the dark green tea one.
Dark green tea, tried that one. That
Wasabi.
Wasabi, tried that one. And I'm looking at one that has a picture of a cat on it.
That one's orange.
Orange. Okay, I haven't tried orange.
Orange is the best one, I think, out of all of them. I know the UK we had an orange Kit Kat, but compared to the orange Kit Kat we had here, it's not as good as that one. I think they're the best ones.
Good. That's really good.
They're better than the ones we get for the orange flavour, aren't we?
I'll tell you what, this one is a good 10.
Yeah. That went off but when I made my video that I haven't edited, that went off the scales for me. That's my only thing. I wish I bought more of those orange ones because they are pretty tasty.
They're delicious. I'll tell you what, all those sweets that we like there.
The hard candy ones.
Hard candy ones, sour balls.
They're not really sour balls. They're just kind of little sugar balls that's just got fruit flavouring. Yeah.
In them. Oh, they're lovely. They got one which is peach. Let me tell you, it's so good. Also, their peach drinks that they have out there, fantastic.
Yeah, I think the only drink I didn't like, they do like a wheat drink, and that was gross.
Ugh. Well,
yeah.
Wheat's going to taste like beer, isn't it?
It wasn't even beer. It was just wheat, watered wheat.
Watered down wheat.
Yeah.
It was like drinking bread, was it?
Yeah, it was just not nice.
Get some bread, put it in a blender, and then drink that.
Yeah. To be fair, another Kit Kat I think was a bit of a mystery. And when I was doing my video I filmed that I haven't edited yet, like, this is pretty much the one I saved to the end because I thought it's going to be really hot, it's going to be horrible, and why have I done it? Like, I had a glass of milk prepped for me and everything, and then when I ate it, like, it's not
weak, was it?
Yeah, it's really tasty. Like, it's not really hot, it's quite sweet actually, and yeah, it's just such a surprise. And half of the Kit Kats are pretty tasty. The ones I was more shocked that were more kind of disgusting in my mind were the sake ones. They're not, like, I think if you want to get people drunk off Kit Kats, then yeah, go give your friends loads of the sake ones, get them drunk. But for kind of like, if you want like an afternoon kind of snack, the sake ones aren't my first choice to go for.
Yeah, I have to say, of all the places I've been to, I think Japan for candy, I thought UK was pretty good. Japan's number one. Yeah,
they're definitely, I feel, yeah, there's some things they do better. I'd say equal, on par.
On par? I'd say the one thing that Japan wasn't so good on was some of their meat out there, the chicken that they do. If you get chicken in places, you've got to watch it because it's quite fatty chicken out there. I don't know. Here, if we chop up chicken breast. I don't know how they do it, but we cut off all the fats. They seem to almost include it.
They include everything.
Yeah.
I think it's just you use the whole part of the chicken.
The thing is, I've heard this before about not just Japan but Asian countries. Just watch some of the meat that you have. Like beef is fairly solid. You can't really go too wrong with that. But chicken can be a bit meh.
Yeah, I think if you go to Japan, then you have fish. Fish is like the main thing they thrive on.
Yeah. But the beef though was pretty good though.
Yeah,
Like,
beef was good. So to be fair, some of the chicken stuff I had was alright. Some of the pork stuff I had was good.
Where the chicken was good was the one that was in batter.
Yeah.
But if we had like chicken, just chicken in like a sandwich or something, it was pretty nah.
Yeah.
Went to Subway. Biggest disappointment of Japan, Subway out there.
See, that mine was right because I didn't have chicken. I had
chicken.
I think I had the beef. I think I had a beef one. I think beef teriyaki. I had.
Yeah.
And that was pretty tasty.
And the annoying thing was, I said before going in, you got to be careful with chicken in Asia because it can be a bit funny. And what happened? It was bad. I'm mad at myself, and I only have myself to blame. But Japan as a place, 10 out of 10. Pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think we went at an interesting time because that was kind of the beginning of COVID.
I mean, we got back the day before we locked down here in the UK. So
yeah, we got back on the Sunday.
On the 22nd and the 23rd, it locked down on the Monday.
Yeah.
And it was funny because my girlfriend was getting all excited about it. I'd just come back from the flight and literally she made me drive. I was so tired to go to the supermarket. Glad we did it because the next day it all locked down. And then they all had the queues for the supermarkets, and I was like, oh yes, but she managed to get all our stuff without too much panic as well.
Yeah, I mean, eventually when I edit all these Japan videos I've got, there will be kind of like some of the stuff I filmed where it's just like you're just filming B footage, and it's a lot of stuff is just empty. Like the airports are just empty. Even on our plane there and too, it was back. I know we paid extra money for business class, and we were like the only ones in business class because of that. And then same thing when we did our big coach trip in Japan. They had a full kind of 40-person coach, and we were the only people on this coach because there's no one doing the tours at the moment in Japan.
Yeah, that was quite strange being on the coach, just us with the tour guide.
Yes, and our 2 bus drivers.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah,
but it was quite cool because the woman was quite good, a good tour guide, but I don't think she knew how to handle such a small crowd.
Yeah, I mean, I think for learning knowledge of Japan, we probably learnt the most knowledge we have ever done on these kind of bus trips, because they normally, the person sits at the front, half the people aren't listening anyway, she's just going to be rabbiting on anyway, but because you're the only ones on the bus, you kind of got no choice but to listen, because it would be rude not to.
What was funny as well, we were so jet lagged that I remember being on the bus and just thinking, I just want to have like a half an hour sleep. And because we're the only ones on there, she was just talking to us as well. And it's on a big bus tour, you can normally get away with falling asleep, but there was no chance with her.
On this one, you were stuck. You just had to listen.
Had to push through and listen and learn.
Yeah, and we did learn quite a lot. Obviously, I knew the numbers had to say 1 to 10 in Japan anyway, or Japanese. But for you guys and our parents, they didn't know that.
Yeah.
And
Ichi ni 1 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
All the way. You got Ichi, Ni, San, Yo, Gon, Roku, Nana, Hachi, and I think I've lost it.
She's got it wrong.
I lost
She's
it.
failed.
Oh, it's been a while. So you got Ichi, Ni, San, Yo, Gon, Roku. I think it was. Is it Haha? I think 7.
Haha.
Is it Haha? It's Haha, Nana, and you got Roku. And then 9 was, so it's definitely Nana for 7. And then 9 was, Ni? Oh, I can't remember. And then 10 was Jun. I can't remember what 9 is.
You failed.
I failed.
You let your team down.
Yeah, I did let
myself
myself down.
If this was the test, you'd be getting an F and you'd be denied entry to Japan.
I haven't practiced it for a couple of months, so I went.
I did find quite cool. If you walk outside all of the restaurants, they have like models of what the food looks like inside, which is quite cool, because when you go past, you're like, oh, that looks quite nice, I'll eat that.
It's quite on par as well to what you get. Like, it's what they make and then what you get is pretty similar.
It's pretty simple, yeah. You know how normally you see like an advert for a Big Mac or something and it looks completely different, and in there it's like, actually, yeah, this looks pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Well done, Japan.
I mean, to be fair, it just makes sense because, like, pretty much the only people who speak Japanese is Japan. So, and now that their tourism has grown hugely over the last couple of years, so to have it as pictures, it's the best way to kind of, you get that across the language barrier the best way.
Yeah. Also, as well, we went to a McDonald's a couple of times. What was that burger that we had that was super
Teriyaki
good?
burger.
Oh, that was great. That was an absolutely cracking burger. If you go have a teriyaki burger, it was great. Lovely, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a nice one.
That was a good little find.
Quite happy to have McDonald's in Japan, because I kind of did want to try it over there, see what the difference is going to be.
You got to, haven't you? You got to see what it's like. Also, as I said earlier, their peach stuff is just great. We don't get the same peachy drinks here as we do in Japan.
No. I mean, the same thing, like, I always find it odd with their purple flavours, because for England our kind of purple flavour stuff is blackcurrant or blackberry.
Yeah.
And then it's grape,
yeah.
which is just crazy in my mind.
I prefer blackcurrant though to some of their
grape always tastes artificial.
Yeah.
It's taste one. I think with Japan as well, if you're planning to just do like Tokyo, it's that kind of, that whole city is a hidden gem, and everything's kind of, nothing's really spread out. It's all kind of built high.
Yeah. So you'd go into these buildings and you'd think it's quite a small shop, and then you realise it's got 8 or 10 floors, and you keep going up and just go, God, this has got so much. So much. Yeah. What's the is it Don Quixote?
Yeah, Don Quixote. That had just everything in.
Everything.
It was crazy.
They're just mad. If you need anything, you go to Don Quixote.
Yeah, you've got obviously all your nerdy stuff you want. They had like electronics. If you want like a kind of second-hand like designer bag or designer stuff, they had a floor for that.
They had a floor for alcohol, cigars.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's obviously quite a big tourist shop, because on one of the floors, I think if you bring your passport with you, you can get the money back to not pay tax.
You get the tax off. We never did that, but it's probably quite easy, I bet.
Yeah, I think you just got to bring your passport, but I don't really. Once I land somewhere, I like to throw my passport in the safe just to be safe, because the worst thing you want when you're on holiday is to lose your passport and just be an absolute nightmare.
Especially when the thing is as well, I think for us, if you spoke Japanese, you'd probably do it all, but it's quite difficult sometimes talking and then having to fill out a form to get it back. You just don't need the hassle, do you? Yeah,
this is it. And for saving a couple of yen, or probably a few thousand yen, I'm happy to contribute towards their tax in their country.
We did something good for Japan.
Yeah.
There you taxpayers. Next time I walk past and see a hospital out there, if it's paid by taxpayers' money, I'll go, I contributed to that.
That was me.
You see that when I go with my grandchildren? Come, children, look at what I did by not claiming my tax back. I built this hospital. Maybe they'll give me an award, the Stefan Jenkins award.
Because you paid some tax out there.
Yeah. I like that.
It is crazy, Japan. I think one of the things, because we didn't explore a lot of Japan, I think I want to go back and do a good chunk. But for some of the places we did, it's quite cool if you go to different like areas in Japan, because they're like pothole covers.
Yeah,
they've got different designs. So I really like that. It was like a nice touch.
I would have liked to. We just sort of stayed in Tokyo, and then went to Mount Fuji a little bit and did a little tour there. But I'd have liked to got on a train and just gone to like the end of a line or something.
Yeah.
Just to see what that bit was like outside, like on the edge of Tokyo or further out.
I kind of think we did 10 days in Japan, and for the time we booked the holiday, it was fine, because obviously with COVID and everything going on, if we'd booked any longer, I think we would have struggled to get back home. But I think personally, if it's your first time and it's one of the things you don't think you're going to go back, I would say you probably want to spend a month if you want to see everything, and it's the country you're not going to go back to. Yeah,
the thing is, it's so big. I mean, we spent, apart from that one day, we spent outside of Tokyo.
We just spent doing Japan, and we
still all in Tokyo.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of think we only still saw 10% of Tokyo.
Yeah, there's so much to see there. It's just
yeah,
huge.
Especially huge. Like we didn't really do much nightlife stuff because of the jet lag, and we were quite tired. It took ages to get over jet lag as well.
Yeah, the jet lag hit us pretty hard as well. And to be fair, I don't think it helped that we started drinking sometimes at about, what time did the 6 o'clock? Yeah, so we'd start drinking at 6 o'clock, and then by 8 o'clock you're like fairly hammered, and then just want to go and get something to eat and then go to bed when you're tired.
Yeah, and especially because our dad does like a lot of business, he gets access to the kind of club lounges in the Hilton hotel, so we had like access to food there for free, and because of being like a club lounge member,
Yeah, free drinks, which was
yeah,
pretty good.
So because you've already got kind of food and drinks there for ready, and you think, yeah, I'm quite happy, everything's here.
But there's some. We did go and eat and drink out a couple of times. We went to the bar downstairs.
Yeah, I don't know. We didn't. I think for nightlife we didn't really explore that much. We kind of hovered around the hotel.
Yeah.
Where I wouldn't mind going out for a few more restaurants in the night stuff, and the ones we did, I kind of think we played it pretty safe.
Yeah, we didn't go anywhere too. The only one that we went was like a traditional Japanese one. Was that lunch we had inside the mall, and that curry we had, that was pretty good as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was good curry we had.
Yeah, I thought we apart from going to Subway, I didn't have a bad meal in Japan. I don't think.
No, it was all the meals were good. I could knock it. I think we went at a kind of cool time because of COVID, but I think we kind of lost out on some stuff because some things were closed, and it was all.
It was interesting because we went because of COVID. It wasn't as busy as normal in Tokyo. Sorry, so it was a lot quieter, which was nice because we weren't rushed, we weren't forced. And I wonder if going back to Tokyo in peak season, you would go, oh, this is just too busy.
I think especially for the coach tour we did, because it was just us, we had so much time, then they were quite happy, like, yeah, just chill, come back for an hour. And I'm sure if you do like a coach tour, you pretty much off the bus, get your iconic photo, and then get back on the bus, probably.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I expect that with a coach tour, though, that, you know, you literally are just going to the bits you wanted to see. Like, we wanted to see Mount Fuji, we saw it. We
lost one bit off because of the virus.
Yeah.
Where we saw like the best bit to see Mount Fuji, but I think they said there are different like gates when you get to the mountain.
That though wasn't Mount Fuji. That was the weather that affects that, wasn't it?
No, I think it was also a bit of COVID because there wasn't many people going at the moment.
Yeah. I'm sure some of it was because of the weather.
I think it was weather and the virus, because they said because there's not a lot of people at the moment, they've closed off one of it. But that bit is where it had the bat cave, and it's also the kind of entrance if you did want to go to like the suicide forest as well.
Oh right, that bit, yeah.
So if you want to have like a quick nose, but. Yeah, I'm sure if you went, it'd be completely different atmosphere. You know, one, you wouldn't have to pay attention. You could probably sleep on the bus and get everything. I think if I did that tour again, because the one we did, you had the option, you get the bus takes you to the mountain, but you have the option, you either stay on the bus to get back or you get the bullet train. I think I'd get the bus back again because I was quite happy to sit on the bus and chill.
Yeah, I think it's an experience to go on the bullet train, isn't it?
Yeah, I think if you've never been on the bullet train, then I'd say get the bullet train back. But if you've been on the bullet train loads of times, like I think I'd be quite happy to get the bus. I quite enjoyed like seeing all the countryside, driving on. Also, as well, the thing is where we got on the bullet train, you're still in a pretty urban bit. Mount Fuji about half an hour was on bullet train to get back to the city. So you're only about half an hour away from Tokyo, which is still quite residential. So I never really felt like the bullet train had like absolutely hammered it. Whereas if you go out to the countryside, it would be going as fast as it can. There, obviously, because you've got so much buildings, you can't go that quick. As well, for obviously there's to like look outside for the scene. Like we still got quite a good scenic view. Like there's one clip I got on my phone with it from the bullet train when the sun's setting and you can see Mount Fuji as a silhouette, so it looks really nice. Yeah. But we kind of got there at sunset, so obviously you saw the sunset was really nice, but then obviously once sunset, but like a good chunk of the journey was it dark anyway. Yeah, we kind of timed it slightly wrong, I think. I think maybe in some ways they should do bullet train in and then bus back because you're tired and you can just chill on the bus then. Because it's quite a long day. Yeah, it's a very long day, to be fair. I did a lot of walking on that, I remember. Going up and down steps as well. Yeah, especially because like our tour guide was like 10 out of 10, top notch, he was amazing. But when we kind of got to the city, when we got back to Tokyo, we pretty much could have figured our way back. Oh yeah, that was kind of awkward. Like the tour guide was sort of going the same way as us. And I think it was also the same way, but I think it's just for Japan's culture. They want to help you. They want to make sure you
yeah.
definitely get home.
And we I think we were quite happy. Like, okay, we've done the tour now. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we know where we are now.
We
can get back to our hotel now.
And then she tried to take us back away, and we were a bit like, there's a quicker way going the other way, because we'd been there, and we were a bit like, oh, we'll just let her lead us. And then when she left, we were all a bit like, whew, she's gone. Good, we can actually chill out now and relax a little bit.
I mean, I think we had some kind of funny, awkward moments. Like, I still laugh with...
the toilet thing. That was the most funniest thing that I've seen in ages. It's so funny.
It was so, like, I didn't realise it. It's only when Stefan told me, but when she took us to one of these shrines, and there were some public toilets, and I needed to go to the bathroom. And I didn't realise I did this, but because she said, oh, there's toilets, and I was like, okay, great. And the slidey doors, and I didn't realize. I just went in, closed the door behind me, and went. But apparently, what Stefan was saying, she was following, she was following behind me, and I just slammed the door in her face.
So it wasn't like there was just one toilet there. So she would go into the girls' toilets, and there was like, I don't know.
There's 10, a couple of you, yeah.
10 toilets all laid up, and Kirsty went in, closed the door so she couldn't go to the toilet. She then had to go into the disabled one because Kirsty had closed the door, and I kind of thought, oh, it's weird because the guys have like 10 toilets here. And it wasn't until Kirsty came out, and I was like, do they have extra toilets in? I was like, yeah, she's closed it, and she wanted to go in as well. And it's just her face and how Kirsty did this so blissfully, almost like turning around, smiling at the tour guide, almost going, you're not going in here today. Closed. And then,
I still want it funny because I had no idea. I thought she said, there you go, here's the toilet, do you want to use it? And I didn't realise she was following behind, so I just closed the door like you're meant to be nice. And it was like, I completely failed. And it's the same thing with, I don't think she realised as well, because she said about have you used like on the way there, she was talking about the toilets. And she's like, oh, have you guys used like a Japanese toilet yet?
Oh yeah, there's different kinds.
And we were like, oh yeah, we've used it, like we thought it was really cool. And she was like, oh wow, like we normally don't get many like tourists who actually use the toilets. And I was thinking like, what do you mean, like the Japanese toilets are amazing, like they're so cool. And then she started to talk about the proper the drop and squat ones where there's just a hole in the ground.
Yeah, so there's two types. You got the modern toilets where you have all the special features where like it plays music, it shoots the water up your bum.
And that's what we were thinking. Cause, like, those are the Japanese toilets where they're like high tech, but then you have the completely opposite of high tech. They're really old fashioned. They're like pretty much just a hole in the ground, and you drop and squat. It's
literally just a hole in the ground, and this is why if you've ever seen the pictures of how to use like a normal Western toilet.
Yeah.
You now look at that and go, this actually kind of makes sense now.
Yeah, I don't. If any of you have ever seen, you there's in some places you have like how to use the toilet, and obviously they have the X's of the people kind of kneeling down on like a normal Western toilet.
Or they put like the feet in the water.
Yeah, and every time I've seen them before going to Japan, I was like, why? This is such a stupid thing, because surely everyone knows how to use a toilet. But then once going to Japan and seeing the kind of the toilets where it's just a hole in the ground, it makes so much more sense, because obviously for those ones you have to drop and squat. Where if you've never especially if you're like a Japanese person who's lived in the countryside forever, and that's been the toilet, and then you go somewhere where it's got like a Western or even the high tech Japanese ones, you probably think, oh my god, what is this? And they probably do think you've got to drop and squat and kind of kneel on the toilet seat. So really interesting in just seeing the difference in the kind of things when it finally clicks. One was quite funny because our dad spotted it, but when it had the X when they used the kind of thumbs up for the toilet seat on the drawing, the toilet lid was still at the bottom. No one pushed it up, so he was like, well, if you're going to use it right, make sure you lift the toilet seat up lid as well.
Yeah, I tell you what was cool, and this changed my opinion about Japanese toilets. The one setting which I really liked, for guys, you had a button to lift up the toilet lid and then press it to close it down again. That was amazing, I have to say. That was cool. And I tell you what, Kirsty's probably looking at me a bit strange at the moment. I've just got suntan lotion in my eye and it's burning.
Yeah, you keep rubbing your eyes.
I keep rubbing my eyes and I'm like winking at the moment.
The other kind of... we had so many fun toilet experiences out there. In one of the malls we went to, I had to go to the bathroom. and the ones in the malls have been fine. They're pretty straightforward to use, but the one I went to, all the buttons were completely worn down to the tip, so you couldn't see any of the writing. And I was kind of just panicking, thinking, oh my god, what button is it? Because all the buttons are worn down. I have no idea which button it is to flush. And then I press this button, and then all this music starts to play. And I was like, okay, it probably should stop in a minute. And then it just kept playing long and long and long and long. And I was like, oh my god, why is this not music stopping? And I was like, oh my god, I've broken it. And then eventually I realised, oh, if I press it again, it stops. But out there for the toilets, they have the option to play music. So obviously, if you're like a shy pooper and you don't want people to hear you going, you can play music.
Yeah, music.
But I just thought, I played it for so long, and everyone walked in, they're thinking like, God, this person sounded like a really long poop. And it's like, no, I'm just pressing the wrong buttons. I don't know which button to press to flush it. The toilets are just fun out there.
You silly Westerners, probably what they're thinking.
Yeah, we're just having a lot of toilet fun in Japan.
But I was very express. Getting around was pretty easy. The one thing you've got to watch out there is you get. They almost have two kinds of metro.
And obviously, if you're trying to write, obviously you can kind of write it in. But if you think, I just need to go to this place, but they don't have the kind of the option for that place. So if you get to the machine, put it into English, and you think, yes, I need to go to Shinjuku, you can't type in Shinjuku, you need to know the price of the ticket.
Yeah. So their system is a bit strange. Instead of like Kirsty said, you being able to buy a ticket to Shinjuku, on all of the boards above the ticket machines, they show you how much each area is worth. So you then have to find the stop that you are on this map.
And the problem with the map, it's not in. It depends where you go. Some of them had it in English or like just the name, but a lot of them had it in the kanji characters.
Eventually, what they have the numbers in English numbers, so that you know that on the red line Shinjuku was like.
I think it was like
7?
9.
No, it was our hotel 7.
Our hotel was 7. I think
Yeah.
Shinjuku's 8 or 9 because there's only a couple of stops from ours.
So basically, you have to remember what number your station is, and then work from that. But they have two systems. They have like a metro, which is like an underground one, and then they have an overground one.
Yeah.
And the tickets aren't the same for each one, which is really annoying because we bought like a. It's the first time we bought like a 24-hour pass, wasn't it?
We kind of got pushed into that because we were trying to because Stefan found online you could get a 3-day ticket, so you can just use that, and we were trying to find that on the machine, and then a local saw us sort of struggling, and then he decided to kind of help us, and like he was really helpful, like he was amazing,
incredibly helpful.
Yeah. And obviously he thought he was doing like his good deed of like, yeah, they probably just want to know where this one stop is, and we were trying to find this 3-day one, and he couldn't find it. And he kind of said, well, I think this one will work. And because he's helped so much, you kind of feel guilty to go, no, we won't do this one. You can go away. We'll figure it out. We just said, oh, yeah, we'll just buy this one. So it looks like he's helped. But it was just like...
It's kind of the wrong ticket.
Yeah, it was the wrong ticket. But we just felt so bad because he spent so long trying to help us. And you could kind of see in his face like, oh, I've messed up big time. This wasn't like a simple one I thought it was going to be.
I must help these players.
Yeah, and you just felt bad because he spent so long. It's like, oh, let's just buy this ticket, and feel like, he's done his good job to help.
What was funny as well, we saw him later on, didn't we?
Yeah,
it's quite funny.
We just had some fun
But
embarrassment
I would
times.
say everyone's pretty helpful in Japan.
Yeah, they're incredibly helpful. I was saying to some people when I got back, like they've got to be the most helpful country.
Yeah.
Because the times if you go to any other country, especially in Europe, if you're stuck at the train station and then someone comes up to help you, you just, like, especially for me, the times I've travelled like Europe and I'm kind of fiddling with the train stations and trying to get a ticket, if someone comes up to me, massive alarm bells just ring because I'm thinking they're either trying to go wheeze me out of some money because they've helped me, or they're going to try and rob me.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah, I was like, especially on the tube.
Maybe we're just too trusting with Japan. Maybe.
Yeah, or we're just criminals, not criminals. Everyone's just bad here. Like, especially on the tube, if someone comes up to me, I automatically they're going to have a knife and they're going to try and stab me.
Stab.
Yeah, and for people to come up in Japan,
in the tube.
I just think for anything, especially in the time we were in Romania, like this guy was trying to help us, and you could just see he was almost going to get like his hand out, like, come on, I've helped you. You need to pay me some money. And like I had my bag on me because he was pretty dodge.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy.
I think you got to know the different places as well. Like going to Barcelona is pretty bad. You got to be careful there. Paris is quite bad.
This is it.
Different places. And what I recommend is before you go, just look online and see what the place is like. You'll get reviews from it. And
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, if you are worried, if you're a bit of a nervous traveller and you want to go somewhere where it's pretty safe, I'd say if you go to Japan, you're not really gonna. Like, I think the worst thing we had is we did find one beggar who came up to us, but I kind of think.
And she was quite an aggressive one as well.
Yeah, because she was following us, and our parents were panicking a little bit, and I tried,
which I think
they made it worse. Yeah, because I tried to say to them, like, just if you weave down an alley, she'll go. Because I was like, normally the times when I'm in London and something like that happens, I'll just go down an alleyway and then they'll go because they're going to stay on the main high street. Yeah. But then I kind of think that was like the first day we was in Japan. And I think we dressed the worst. We didn't look British at all. We looked like American tourists because we had. I don't think I ever showed it in the vlog, but our parents made some hats where we kind of got like the family tour 2020 on, and we was all wearing that on the first day, and we had jackets on, and I was like, we didn't look British at all. We looked like proper Americans. We're like a family from like Kentucky, and I was like, we just looked like the worst kind of for that kind of like for someone to come up and try and beg for money.
Also, we didn't really know, I think, where we were going, did we?
No, so I think you had your phone out. I was like, we looked like proper tourists, so we were like the perfect kind of bait for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's back. She was just quite she was quite aggressive as well.
Yeah, I think it's the worst time as well because we were trying to get back to our hotel. Like we'd done the day, we were tired, and it kind of got stressing. And eventually we got away from them, but. It was like all the worst things to kind of happen for it, but really, and that's quite odd for Japan because I said to my friend about that and she was shocked. Yeah. But we were down quite a busy tourist thing because I think in the only time we saw a lot of homeless was kind of around Shinjuku. That was the only bit, but that's because it's your massive export where a load of people come in and out because you've got the train station. So really, for homeless, if you want to try and make some money, that's your best place to sit.
Yeah, it's quite funny as well. There's a few places where you had the outside of Shinjuku where you had there was a few homeless people there, but they were like really neat homeless people, weren't they? They had all their stuff all organised, neatly stacked up, all their suitcases, and I was like, wow, these guys are proper good. Like, where was it we went?
Yeah, there was one it was where our hotel was, which is it was kind of like the couple of blocks before Shinjuku, kind of the business area, and. The homeless persons, it was pretty much, it was all lined up. Normally in the UK, if you've got like a homeless space, it's all kind of spread out, it's everywhere, but that was really organised. He kind of tied it all up onto the wall, and I think he's obviously out, but like it was so laid out, nicely organised, and I was like, pretty for like a homeless person, that's like a 10 out of 10 kind of crib.
We were looking at it and going, well, if this is what their homeless people are like, then yeah, fair enough. Everyone should be homeless because it was all neat, organised, had a nice view, it was nice and warm. I was like, wow. Yeah,
it wasn't kind of spread out. Like he organised it really well.
Took pride in it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. There was just pride in his home in the street, which is just amazing. Obviously, it's not amazing who's homeless, but like it's just the change in what homeless is different.
But you look at that and go, he's not going to be homeless for long. That guy's going to get his life back together.
Yeah, and this is like, I don't know what the homeless rate is in Japan because I know in the UK it is really bad. Like
it's pretty
loads of bad, especially in the city. Everyone's trying to do it.
It did go down during COVID because the government got them all off the street, but they've ended that program now. So you're going to start to see more homeless people go back if you go into like London or anything.
Which is crazy because you think if there's something, I know that they've put in a lot of money because of COVID, and after it, like there's going to be a lot of debt and recessions. But you think if the government's been able to do that, why haven't they done a program to do it? Yeah. Like if that's available, surely, and then you just you've cut off a massive thing people always whinge and moan about here.
What they were doing as well was, which might not work, because they were using a lot of the hotels that were empty. So if you have an empty hotel, then you fill it with people who are homeless. But I don't know how it works.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's hopefully eventually it should all get sorted. 21st century, no one should really be homeless, especially in a first world country.
No,
it is
not anymore.
Crazy. But I think we've done a good little chat of Japan and everything. I will try and get a bit back on top and try to edit and get on top. I've also, when they do come up, what's probably taking longer is I want to have them all edited. So I don't want to edit one and then you wait for months for the next one. Have it every day. So I'm going to try and get a bit back on laptop for it all and hopefully work won't get in the way as much as it's been doing now.
And Ollie got a good over, which is thank you very much.
Yep.
Sayonara.
And sayonara. And I'll see you in the next video when eventually I can edit it and get it up.
Goodbye. Thanks for listening. See you soon.
And just remember, keep being awesome, keep being amazing, and I'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.